Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Now, talking about how to flip houses with no money. So I'm sure most of the people watching this do not know who Carlton Sheets is. Carlton Sheets is a guy who, when I grew up, he used to have late night commercials talking about flipping houses with no money. And ironically, a lot of people I know that are successful in this business actually bought his program. I actually got a copy of his program probably 25 years ago. And most of it, to be perfectly honest, doesn't work in New York, right? Because the way real estate transactions happen in New York is dramatically different than the other 49 states. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. If you stay to the end, I'm going to talk about how I really think you can flip houses with no money if you do certain things. So now, the reason why all those things, not all, but most of those systems don't work is because the way people go into contract in other states is very simple, right? You find a seller is interested in selling, you interested in buying, and you go to contract. You could really write something on a napkin and say, I'll buy your house for X dollars. And technically you're in contract. In New York, the whole process of getting into contract does not take place between a buyer and a seller. It's the only state where it takes place between a seller's attorney and a buyer's attorney. So people ask me several times a week, sometimes a dozen times a week, what contract should I use? And I say, there is no contract for you to use because you don't prepare the contract. I'm looking at my board right now. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 11 deals where a seller has agreed to my price, and I'm still not in contract. Now, why, right? People from other states go, what the hell does that mean? Most people, and I know so many people who do this in other states, when they leave a seller appointment, if they don't leave with a signed contract, it's not good for them. For me, I leave with a yes, but then I have to have the seller engage an attorney. Most of the time they have an attorney, but if not, I'll recommend an attorney, and they will have their attorney draw up a contract, which gets sent to my attorney, and then there's a negotiation, and then we get into contract. And that could take a couple of months, to be crazy as it sounds. So most of this Carlton Sheets and buying flip houses with no money kind of thing is meeting sellers that have some kind of problem that you may be able to solve and getting into contract with them. But the problem is a lot of those things don't work in New York because attorneys get involved. So, there are ways to flip houses with no money. So first of all, when we say flip houses, what do we mean, right? We could mean wholesaling houses, right? Wholesaling houses means we get into contract with a seller and we then assign that contract to a new buyer, usually a cash buyer who's going to rehab, fix and flip it, or is going to, maybe fix it up and hold it and rent it. And then we say flip, really flips, most flips, flip can mean anything, right? People say flip the contract, but the truth is that when I say flip, I mean buy a property, do some decent work to it, significant work to it, and then sell it after you've added value to it. That's what I consider a flip. But again, flip can mean a million different things. So can you flip houses with no money? Can you buy a property? Can you get a property get a property under contract, take the property down, so buy the property and then do the work to it with no money? You can if you do what I did. So let me explain. The first 4 years I was in business, I bought every property. I bought mostly at live auction, also online auctions, and also from some real estate REO, our real estate owned agents, which means bank owned property. And I would buy it, I would fix it up and sell it. So 4 years I got renovated almost every property I bought. Now the way I did this with no money after my first deal was that I raised money from other people. So then I took a hard money loan on the property, and then I had another partner who came in and an equity partner who sort of funded the gap, right? Because even in those days when I was buying a property, I needed to put 10 to 20% down on the purchase, and then I needed to fund, the hard money lender funded the renovations, but I needed to make payments to that hard money lender, and there was always a gap, I don't know, $80,000, $100,000. So I had somebody else come in and lend me that money. So you can do that, right? I almost recommend not to, but if it gets you started, you can, and it did it for me. The first deal I did, I think I paid 16% interest and paid 4 points or 6 points with it. It was crazy, but it got me in the business, so it was worth it. The problem with these equity partners is that every time I sold a property, I had to pay a lender all the interest, and then I had to pay this guy a proportion of the profits. So what's better is if you have a private lender who will fund the entire deal. But if you can't, then do what I did. That's a way to get into it, well, with no money, right? So you say to a private lender, I found a great deal. I think we can borrow 80 to 90% of the purchase price. You come in, No, I'm sorry. First, you should say, I think, would you fund the whole deal? Would you pay the whole process, pay the whole thing, and fund the rehab, and I'll give you 50% of the profit, let's say, right? Or you say, I'll give you a 12% return on your money if you fund the whole thing. Now, if some people don't have the money for the whole thing, a lot of projects in New York are going to be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to do. So you can find somebody. Let's say what I said before, which is your second choice, which is we'll get a hard money loan for 80 to 90% of the purchase price. They'll fund all the rehab too. You just have to fund the gap of the 10 to 20% that I have to put down. You have to fund the monthly payments. And we need somebody to get the contractor started, because the hard money lender is only going to pay you in arrears, like after work is done, not before. And some contractors are going to want somebody to get started. And then for that, I'll pay you a portion of the profits or a set fee. It's better to pay them a flat rate of return. So let's say I'll pay you 12% on your money. That's a way to do it with no money. If you want to wholesale a deal like that, all you really need is the deposit, the EMD, the earnest money deposit, which in New York typically, and this scares the crap out of a lot of people, is 10% of the purchase price. So you're buying something for $300,000, it's $30,000. You can usually negotiate that down. Maybe you can get it for 10, but it can't be like $100 like you see on the internet. So if you have that, and really you're only lending that, you're only just putting that in the seller's attorney's escrow account for a short time until you find a buyer for it. So if you don't have that money, you can borrow that money, do the same thing we said before. But in both of these situations, what you can do is you can partner with somebody like me. So I do a lot of JV deals. I'm looking now, JV one. I have like 3 or 4 JV deals on the board, 5 JV deals on the board. Those are deals from students who I've taught or people that just met me and brought me a deal. And the way it works is I put up all the money. So if I and it's a simple agreement, and I'll gladly put it in writing if you don't feel comfortable. Most of the people that are JVing with me, I don't put it in writing anymore because they trust me, and I'm never going to screw anybody over on a deal, because I want you to bring your next deal to me, right? So the way it works is simple agreement. If it's a wholesale deal, it's a 50-50 split on the profits, and if it's a deal that I have to close on, then it's 60-40 in my favor. That's it. I don't think I can make it any simpler than that. I guess I could if it was 50-50 all the time, but so that's what you can do, right? If you find a deal, you can bring it to me and you can say, hey, listen, the hardest part of what nobody talks about is you're not going to know what a deal is when you start. That's just the truth. You're not going to know. I know we all think that we're going to get this list and everybody's going to answer the phone, everybody's going to want to sell immediately, and they're going to say something like, I need to sell tomorrow for any price. I don't care what it is. That's not what happens. Son of a bitch, that light went out of me again. Oh well, we're going light free for a few minutes as we wrap this up. So you're not going to know what a deal is on a lot of deals. So a lot of times you have to bring the deal to me. Now, do not send me a deal that's listed for sale. Do not send me a deal where you didn't speak to the seller. Don't ever send me a deal like that. I don't like that. It's a time waster for me. Time is the one commodity that I can't buy more of. So if you've spoken to a seller and there's a decent story and you believe that this is a deal and there's a significant discount, you can send it to me, email it to me, text it to me, and I'll tell you whether it's a deal or not. And maybe I'll go with you on an appointment to see it, or I'll go see it myself, and I'll let you know if it's a deal. The truth is, that's the part no one talks about. It's not easy to know what a deal is, right? It's easy in places like Port St. Lucie, right? Where everywhere, everything's the same, everything's homogenous, it's the same kind of properties. You know, if you buy something for $70,000, you're gonna make money on it. You sell it, the ARV's $150,000 and needs $20,000. The same shit. It's not like that in our area. In New York, everything's different. We have properties built in the 1800s. We have properties built 20 years ago. Everything's different. One block could be worth $100,000 more than the next block, even more, $200,000 more. Different school districts. It's all different. So I can help you know if it's a deal, and then if it is a deal, I'll be happy to use my money to get it under contract and make it happen. So that's the way I look at it. That's a way to do a deal with no money, right? In the beginning, that's fine. So actually, my next RIA meeting, I don't know when you watch this, but my next RIA meeting, which is August 17, 2021, I'm gonna have 3 people up there who are going to talk about doing their first couple of deals with me. Each one, I have 3 groups, 3 people, each have done 2 or 3 deals with me in their first few deals. So I'm happy to have them talk. I'm gonna ask them questions, and the group's gonna ask them questions too. So anybody who is in New York on August 17th is welcome to come. I think it's $5 admission, and we give you dinner, pizza or some crap like that. So that's the Nassau County RIA. If anybody wants to see that, go to meetup.com/Nassau-County-RIA. Now, that is a way to do a deal with no money. That really is a way to do a deal with no money. And you need $0 to that. Now, if in order to get started in the business, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money. I usually tell people between $1,000 and $1,500 just to buy a list, and then skip trace the list, and then you can start calling and texting that list. That'll get you started in the business. That will do it. A very small amount of money. But that's if you want to really make this into a business. But if you just have a deal, you can send a deal to somebody like me, and I'm happy to help you with that. I hope this was helpful. And if you are interested in learning other ways that can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in my course that teaches how to do this, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are watching on any medium, please click the thumbs up and like these videos. They really help me out. And please keep the comments coming. I go live 5 times a week, and very often I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So keep comments, give me material to talk about it. And if there's no bad comments, no comments too basic. If it's a simple answer, I'll just answer. And if it's a topic I've covered in depth recently, I'll just send you links to the videos. If it's a topic I haven't covered in a while or something I've never covered, I'll be happy to do a video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.